And again, you've structured and closed, I think 24 acquisitions. What's the, what's the most critical factor in ensuring an acquisition delivers long-term value, Bill? What would you tell us? What is the most critical factor there?
Yeah, I think it's the strategy. The execution and the implementation is important, but it's got to make sense, and it's got to make sense for a good reason, and make sense just for financial terms. It's probably not going to be that home run. I mean, it might turn out okay, but I view that sometimes people will say, gee, if I'm a company of a certain size, I can't buy anybody bigger than half my size, a quarter my size, a tenth my size. I've done a number of deals where we bought companies that were bigger than we were. Again, take CareCloud. That's an interesting example. When we were thinking about going public, a couple of the investors we talked to, we were called MTBC at the time, which was not as good a name. It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. We had a couple of people say, even if you go public, they mentioned one or two public companies, but they also mentioned this big private company that's so well funded, they're going to eat your lunch. And that company's name was CareCloud. And we started talking to them in the end of 2019. And they were bigger than us. They weren't nearly as big as they were kind of saying they were. They'd gone through a lot of venture capital money, but they were not profitable. They were in default on their debt. And the answer is we were able to buy them, and we bought them from the debt fund that they'd lent the money, that had lent the money. Their venture capital investors lost everything because it was upside down. And that's one example. I remember one time, at Antenna Software, it was a startup. We were a little software company with like one customer, and we bought this $6 million company. And guess what? When we bought them, we still wound up in control. So you can buy companies that are bigger, and it allowed us to move from a startup with technology people to, okay, now we actually have an operating business. We have customers, we have sales. We kind of moved into a whole new phase of our career.